So it's all for play for still.
I think so. Do you want to bet against us?
Hello, Aston Villa fans, and welcome to For the Love of Paul McGrath podcast. And you'll all be thanking your lucky stars. There's not just me on the screen again, because Paddy is back, and Paddy is here to give us a little bit of a debrief. And we're going to kind of shoot the shit for the next 20 minutes, half an hour, and probably things that have happened over the last week or so on Aston Villa, because or maybe even not with Aston Villa, just things that have happened in the world of football over the last week or so. But Paddy, how's life treating you at the minute?
Life is good. Life is good. I can't complain. Looking forward to meeting you in the flesh tomorrow night as well.
Oh, yeah, I forgot. Yeah, we have the For the Love of Paul McGrath summer party tomorrow.
Only we're not hosting it. We're just going to somebody else's gig. We're going to see Dick Pearce tomorrow night. So there's a good bunch of us from Limerick, Galway, Birmingham, all arriving into Galway tomorrow. So should be fun. Going to see Dick Pearce block Rockin' Beats. And speaking of people that are coming from Birmingham, they're in a hotel ready to get on their flight tomorrow to come and see us. I don't know whether you're coming to me for positivity on this rainy Thursday evening, but I'm still a little bit flat. We'll get to all the reasons why I'm flat, but good to be back talking about football, not money, not transfers, not bullshit, not made up release clauses as somebody sent me today, quickly deleted. So hopefully people start seeing a little bit of sense and not losing their shit over stuff that's quite obviously made up, because there's no news really out there for us to get annoyed over. So someone has made up this ridiculous stat, and we'll
get to that in a moment, because I think what we'll do is we'll get into all the transfer stuff. I planned on doing that probably not towards the end, but I want to start off with the shirt, and we'll get to that towards the end, because there's 2 or 3 different kind of tentacles that we can get from that transfer piece that I want you basically to just get out there into the ether, Paddy, because I know that you're still not fully straightened out, and maybe never will be straightened out after that Manchester United game at the end of the season last year. But the shirt was released today, Paddy. First impressions, what do you think?
Well, I suppose we've seen it already. We saw it a few weeks ago. It is always my favourite release of the year, to see what we're going to be wearing 50% of the time, maybe even 70% of the time next year, as we wear it a lot away from home as well. I like that it's plain. I like that there's minimal change to what it was last year, and I like the little subtle things they've done with it just to make it that little bit different. I like the gold additions. I like the piping. And I'm looking forward to getting my hands on one and seeing it side by side from last year, because I do believe there's a good bit of a difference in both of them. And look, it usually brings a new short brings a new dawn and a new hope. I'm struggling to get out of that rut that I'm in without having hope, because there's a cloud hanging over us. But I think it's a beautiful shirt. For me, it's on a par, if not better than last year. As I said, when I get my hands on it, I might make it a little bit more positivity and hope and expectation of what the shirt is ahead. But we've already released a shirt like most big boys do just before the season ends last year. Unfortunately, that hasn't got off to a great start, and it's remembered for what happened. I will forever, I think until the day I die, look at that shirt and think of Morgan Rogers taking the ball off Onana and putting it in the back of the net and the whistle going in the meantime. So that shirt is a little bit tarnished unless we do something absolutely incredible in it this year. And that's normally how I fall in love with shirts. Sometimes you just look at them and go, they're amazing, they look amazing, I can't wait to put it on, I can't wait to see it on players. And then other times they just appear, they're playing in them, they play awful in them. We dread seeing them coming in that shirt. We've had a few of them over the last few years. The white one with the Birmingham Boroughs on it in the front. I thought that one was a lovely shirt when it came out, and we just had no luck in it. So I'm hoping that we're going to get a bit more luck this year than we got last year, and a bit more. Well, you know, it seems really bad that I'm still down, considering the season we had and the absolute riches we experienced last year. But it'll forever be tarnished by one stupid mistake. And look, I know people will tell me, yes, we should have beaten certain teams, but there was a stat came out during the week that we had the most goals against us, or wrong decisions against us with VAR. Didn't surprise me in the slightest for last season, but it will forever go down in history as one of the best seasons of my life as a Villa fan, to see those amazing Champions League nights and the fights we put up. But yes, there was mistakes made, and as a result, we're now living under a PSR cloud, a transfer cloud. Everywhere we look, there's clouds, and it's just at every turn there's bad news. I'm just waiting on that spark. I'm waiting to see somebody stand in front of the whole end, getting pictured in that shirt that everyone will go, now we're sucking diesel, now we mean business here. But unfortunately, PGMOL has starved us of probably 50 million extra that we would have got this season. So that's why the negativity is there. But I absolutely love this shirt. I love it. And I hope it's one that I'll remember forever for happy reasons and the things that's done in it.
You mentioned there that everywhere we look there's clouds, and everywhere there's you were saying that there's negativity. I haven't really felt that since the 30th of June. Like, there hasn't been anything that's bad that's happened since the 30th of June, or have I missed something there? Or is it more so the fact that you're looking for, did you kind of mean that you're looking for that spark to kind of get you out of the funk, or to get us, and I've said to get us, because like I'm looking for that spark too. I'm looking for the, I'm just going to pluck, because he was somebody that we were reading about there, Garnacho in front of the, the whole thing, holding up the shirt. And you can go, yeah, I can see where we're going with a right winger there. Or is it more so that, because I can't really remember anything bad that's happened since the 30th of June, or have I forgotten stuff or chosen?
And that's what, like, it's not a storm. They're just clouds. There's nothing happening. It's just there's uncertainty. We don't know what this season is going to bring. We don't know what we need to look financially. What we need to look out for. It's just one of those things that we're just stuck in a rut. We need to get players out, obviously, before we can bring players in. We've seen players leave on loan, but we know we're trying to shift the likes of Leon Bailey, possibly. Who knows who else? Emi Buendia. Who knows if the rumours are true and Emi Martinez wants to go to Manchester United for some unknown reason. That's what he wants to do. And if he wants to do it, do it. Don't be leaving us hanging on here. You know, I'm looking at us signing a goalkeeper and everybody saying this is our number 2 goalkeeper for next season. Maybe he's not. Maybe that's our first choice goalkeeper for next season. We just don't know it yet. So that's why the negativity is there. And I don't think the negativity or the clouds lift until this transfer window closes and we've had a good start to the season. Because we did hear Unai Emery say he wouldn't mind if he started next season with all the players he has. Neither would I. Neither would I. But does that include Marco Asensio? Does that include Rashford? Does it include Leon Bailey? Does it include Emi Buendia? You'd have to believe there's something he wants to do behind the scenes, which he needs to do. and hopefully we start seeing things happening over the next few weeks, because I think that's how we see it lifting. And the start of it is obviously seeing the boys back on the pitch last night.
Yeah.
Don't read too much into it. Preseason is called preseason for a reason. Unfortunately, they have to take money off fans too, so they let us in to watch it, and they let us watch it on TV. It's not always sunshine and rainbows on preseason. Sometimes it can be great, sometimes it can be rubbish. I've seen us have rubbish pre-seasons and brilliant seasons. I've seen us have shit pre-seasons or great pre-seasons and then lose a few games in the first few league games, a la Steven Gerrard a few years ago. I remember Paul Lambert having an unbelievable pre-season, and then we were just shite for the whole season. So pre-season is what it is. If you read any more into it, then 22 lads getting time under their belt at a decent level for training, because that's all it is a training game.
Yeah.
There's nobody going out there flying into tackles. There's nobody wants to absolutely go out and win the game. That's not what it's about at this stage of the season. But I'm looking forward to seeing what happens now. I think we get an insight into the thinking for the year ahead with regards to goalkeepers on Saturday, because I can't imagine Joe Gauci is available. So do they put a young fella on the bench against Hansa Rostock? We've let Philip Marshall go on loan again, so I can't see it.
Did Philip Marshall go out on loan? He was playing last night, but has he gone out on loan today?
Not Philip Marshall. What's his name?
Ali Ziyech.
Oliver Ziyech went out on loan. Yeah. So we've only got Philip Marshall and Emi Martinez available. So let's see when Emi Martinez travel with the squad and be part of it, because that's what I want to see this weekend. And I think that might be a little bit of a spark that will ignite the flame again. And I know I sound really down, and it's probably because I am. And one of the reasons for that is I've just experienced my League of Ireland team get through a Champions League qualifying round, and it was fucking incredible. And it just brings back memories of what we had last year. And getting that 2 years in a row would have been absolutely amazing for our club. It would have been an absolute springboard. And while I have no problem with us losing that by losing games, the same way I would have had no problem in 2020 if we'd have gone straight back down, given the lack of fight for some of the players that were in that squad. But we did it. But last year, we were just cut out on that last day, all starting with the tears after Spurs, which immediately the cloud was there. Are we losing Emi Martinez? Is this last game at Villa Park? And then he goes out and has an absolute brain fart at Old Trafford. And it's just all of these things culminating in these clouds that are hanging over. And I appreciate, look, there's guys messaging me going, why are you not doing podcasts every day? Everyone else is doing podcasts. There's no news. And we can't second guess what's happening. We can come on and talk about things that are actually happening, like the match against Walsall, the shortcoming out, the people who have left the club, the people who have come into the club. So anyway, that's my little outburst and explanation for why there's clouds there. Don't mean to be negative, but you will always get my honest opinion on how I'm feeling about Aston Villa. I will never deviate from being myself and tell people, oh, I'm absolutely delighted with how things are going. I'm not. I'm hurting. I'm hurting since that day in May. I'm hurting actually since the FA Cup semi-final, but I'm hurting even more from the performance against Manchester United. And that one is going to take a long, long time to heal, given, people are saying, oh yeah, well, you balanced everything up now by what happened with Sheffield United. No, I won't, because they still keep bringing it up. And these people didn't watch the games that season when Henry Lansbury scored a perfectly good goal after he was passed the ball by Jack Grealish, and it was ruled out by a referee blowing his whistle. Exactly what happened against Manchester United. So lazy people will put lazy stuff on the internet, and lazy journalists will do the exact same. Also forgotten about the terrible decisions that we spoke about throughout the year that were given against us in the league. and how we were treated by PGMOL, and I'll never forgive them, ever forgive them, until Howard Webb walks out that door. I will never forgive them, because he has just assembled the greatest shower of arseholes that have ever put a whistle in their mouth. And I saw one of them last night in Windsor Park, and he was an absolute arsehole, putting his arms around players that he was giving out to and all this crap that was going on. So anyway, here we are. 17th
You never
of
left,
July.
Paddy. You never
17th of
left.
July. Yeah, I haven't had a restful summer, I can say. But the ray of light is we're back. We're back playing. We're back talking about football. The guys got minutes under their belt. It's going to be a decent run out on Saturday against Hansa Rostock. So looking forward to seeing how we set up, because we will have to go a little bit stronger, and probably people will pay more than 45 minutes, I would imagine. Or maybe not. Maybe not. Maybe that's not his goal in this fixture. A lot of people spending a lot of money to go out there, so I'm sure they'd like to see a little bit of spark in the team. And a lot of people spend a lot of money to go to America. So there's a lot of good friendlies coming up. So things are going to start ramping up in the next couple of weeks. And yeah, maybe we can start getting excited when we get on the plane to America. Which is only next week, really.
Which is only next week. Hansa Rostock won't be the game that he plays people more than 45 minutes unless he has to. Reason being is they're in the third division of, and like not so long ago they were in the Bundesliga, but they're in the third division of German football. So I think while I don't think that we will see as much rotation as we did against Walsall, I do think I do think we will see two separate teams for each 45 minutes, and that's fine. I think as well, I know people are paying their money to go out there, but you know, it's the spectacle of going out to follow Villa and in pre-season, I think, more so than anything else. But yeah, so I asked you about the shirt, and we got everything, and that was brilliant. I'm not giving out to you. One thing I did notice, Paddy, the only reason I'm going back to the shirt, the one thing I did notice is the club said that the long sleeve version was only available in store. I can buy it now. Oh, I can't because I'm clicking on the wrong screen. I can buy it. Let's just see. Can I get that into my cart? Will it tell me?
Nice choice, Neil.
Nice choice. I just have 2 steps. Yeah, looks like I can get it. It's £4. It's £6 dearer. Yeah, this is another thing about. So this shirt, the home shirt, was £100, €100 this morning. And that was €98. I don't know if there's dynamic pricing about what time you go to buy it during the day. I'm obviously joking with regards to that. But the long sleeve version wasn't on here today. It is now, and it's 104. I'd say they've basically just dropped the price of this one. But yeah, it's just interesting. Also, I don't ever remember the women's shirt being the same price as the men's shirt, but maybe it has been all the time. Contrary to popular belief, I don't wear the women's shirt every year, so maybe I just haven't noticed the price. I did check to see the kids' shirt. Be a long time getting back to the weight of a 15 or 16-year-old. I think I am trying to drop a few pounds at the moment, but Jesus, it'll be a couple of years before I get back to the same weight I was when I was 15 or 16. So that one is ruled out. So, and look, the comparison, I suppose, between the two shirts last year is really the collar, the Adidas stripes, the piping, and apparently the overall material that's used. A lot of people like the material that was last year. This material feels a bit more premium as well. Apparently, I obviously haven't had the shirt in my hands yet, at all.
I have to say that the lovely feature of the shirt is the sleeves, and the long sleeve obviously doesn't have it.
That's it.
And
that's exactly it.
We had this discussion obviously offline today, and yeah, I think that's what it's missing.
And you know what pisses me off?
Yeah,
the stripes are broken for Trade Nation. That kind of annoys me about it as well, because you've got Trade Nation on this arm. You absolutely have to get the UEFA Cup badge on the other side, the UEFA Europa League badge on the other side now. And I'm kind of going, it would look class if the stripes weren't broken and you could choose not to have Trade Nation on the side of it. But then again, I suppose if you chose to have Trade Nation, you probably can choose not to have Batano, and that's never going to happen. But interesting. Yeah.
Let's not forget that we, of all the people we don't piss off, is our sponsors. We need them, because money now is not the same as it was last year. So we need those guys to be sponsoring our club. And I think we've only 1 year left of.
We do, because you can have one
content.
more betting sponsor for 1 more year as well. The differences then between the pro shirts seem to be just from pictures, you know, obviously the more meshy design. Yeah, there'll be a lot of nipples from me anyway. Well, not a lot, all 2, because as far as I know, I only have 2 on view. If the see-through as it looks there, obviously it's more of a mesh design, and you've got the authentic badge at the bottom. I don't know what other differences there are. I'd like to see the 2 of them side by side, and probably have a lot more detail in the crest like you did last year as well. But I think I remember last year that on the pro design, the stripes were kind of stuck on. I'm going to use the term stuck on, but I don't mean that. Sublimated, I think the word is. And then on the stadium version, which is the normal version, the fan version, they were stitched on. They were actually a piece of cloth that was stitched on. I preferred the stitched on version over these, and that was ultimately what made my decision, albeit that the crest on the pro one was way better last year. On the pro one, it looked really popped. You know, there was a bit of depth to it. There was a bit of 3D element to it as well. But is that worth an extra, 41 quid? To some people it will be. But yeah, that's all I know that the differences are so far. And you've got these lovely stripes down the back here as well. The 1874 Paddy replaces the AV 150. Yeah, no, like I like having something on the neck like that. I think 1874 is perfect.
Yeah, they've got that. They got that spot on. It's fine. We've had William McGregor on it in the past. I think under Luke, there's been some really good designs on the back collar over the years, but can't argue with that. It's lovely. It's gold, obviously fits in with the design. So yeah, magic.
Yeah, and you know what? Like it's fun. Like I know a lot of people. Look, there's people probably watching this going, one of these lads has just turned 40 and the other one must be pushing 50 as well. And they're talking about buying jerseys. Like, you know, lads, is that not like, should 40-year-olds and 50-year-olds be wearing jerseys? I said to Paddy today, I got to buy a shirt. And then I went, I might get the pro version. And then I went, wait a minute, cool the jets there, Neil. You only get to, at the moment, you only get to wear it to 1 game a season, maybe 2 maximum. So, like, a lot of the time it spends its time, because I have a superstition where I don't wear them on the podcast before matches, because my record of that is very poor. So they used to be hung up behind me here. So what I have is, I actually was only going through my wardrobe last night, and I've got a load of shirts, and I've got them all stacked up, and I'm actually going to pin them to the ceiling here to kind of create the look. So I actually I got a new green screen here as well. I'm thinking of doing, I've got stuff that I'm thinking of doing, and somebody bought me a massively oversized green screen as well. So keep an eye out for stuff that might come on that if I can ever figure out how to create good enough graphics. But anyway, getting back to the shirts, yeah, I get them to have them, to display them, and hopefully over time, you know, when I get, maybe if I move house or whatever like that, I'll have a full room that will have all the jerseys that mean something to me. And that'll be nice then for my kids, I suppose, to come in, and when they see the shirt up on the wall, they'll want to know who it is, and they do want to know who it is now at the moment. And you know, hopefully that will kindle the love for Aston Villa. Like they sit in here beside me shouting up the Villa, and my little girl already is asking me what letters are they on the shirt over here, the McGrath shirt I have. So I'm doing something right in my parenting life. I'm doing something right. So that's why I love getting shirts, is more so mementos of seasons. And to this day, like you talk about mementos of seasons, to this day, this shirt that's here behind me, somebody sent me a squad signed shirt after my son Dara was born, and I still to this day have no idea who sent me that shirt. It arrived in the post, sans nothing. No, like, I have no clue. It could have come from anywhere in the world. So and it must be somebody who watches the podcast. So if anybody who sent me that shirt, please let me know, because I'm over 2 years trying to thank you. Anyway, that's my little soliloquy out of the equation there. So the shirt is a shirt. I will end up getting it. Might even get it tomorrow if it's in JD Sports here, and might be something. Might catch Dick Pearce's eye from the stage where my Villa shirt in the crowd. Hopefully we get to meet him afterwards, get a few pics, because Dick, as everybody knows, is an absolute gargantuan Villa fan as well. So that's why we're That's why we're all meeting up as Villa fans and going to that gig tomorrow. And I'm actually going to another gig the day after to see the Mary Wallopers, and that's going to be some knees up as well. So yeah, I'm doing a 2-dayer in the gig tent here in Galway. Anyway, getting back, Paddy, I'm going to open up and you've alluded to it, you've touched on it as well, and you know, you spoke about it as to a reason why you were feeling kind of, I suppose, less happy than you normally would at the start of a season, less excited. Let's talk, I suppose, about because you mentioned about, you know, transfer fees that we've seen for certain players, and let's just call it as it is. Emi Martinez, there was a transfer fee that was released today where people were saying £21 million, €25 million was his release clause. Like, what? And we all know that's bullshit. Like, you know, there's like, that cannot be true. If that's true, there's something majorly wrong somewhere. There's something majorly wrong if that is true.
But you know what nobody was mentioning though, Neil? The actual figure itself was laughable, but it was the extra part that they put in the sentence. The release fee is 21.5 million or whatever it was, but Manchester United are willing to pay a lot more.
Yeah.
What? I never heard such utter fucking bullshit in my life, and yet it gets shared hundreds and hundreds and thousands of times. And
this is exactly it, Paddy.
Do you even watch football? Are you even using your brain that somebody who's in that dire shite would pay over the release clause? Have you ever heard anyone paying more than the release clause? Apart from the Arsenal one, the famous one, which was, what was it, £100 million and £1 for
40 million and £1 for Luis Suarez, I think it was, wasn't it? Or Alexis Sanchez or someone.
I think Arsenal did the same thing, but it's that
was it.
It was just a bizarre statement that somebody just plucked out of the sky. And
but the thing here is right. So, Sports Witness linked that to an Argentinian newspaper that only prints in Spanish. Okay, it has 1 million followers on Twitter. All right. I donned my detective cap today, and I went on their Twitter feed. I sent a link for their newspaper, which is well known in Argentina. Like, it's a prominent Argentinian newspaper. I sent a link for that to a guy I work with who is Argentinian. And I said, just in case Google Translate makes an absolute balls of anything I come up with here, can you have a rattle through their website and see if you can find anything over the last 7 days that mentions anything to do with the 21.5 million release clause for Emi Martinez? And Nacho went through it, and he said there's nothing on their website to do with Emiliano Martinez and 21.5 million. That was 3:15 today. Okay, now whether it was up earlier on in the day and it was taken down, I don't know. So what I'm saying here is that, because like anybody can link and I'm not castigating Sports Witness. It might have been up there. Absolutely might have been. And if somebody can link me into, I'm not saying that Nacho was diligent in his search either. Nacho, if you're watching, you may not have been diligent in your search for the article either. So the thing here is that we sometimes we see stuff like that. What I'm getting at here is I've started muting a shit ton of accounts. And the reason I've done that is because of like aggregation accounts. It's because they say Fabrizio Romano says this. You go on Fabrizio Romano's Twitter, nothing there. You go on Fabrizio Romano, so there's no context to where he said it. You go on Fabrizio Romano's podcast, his Substack. I have all of those. Go on them. Nothing mentions anything from that man, and you will regularly see him clap back at people saying, "I did not say that." So the engagement farming that's happening is just off the scale at the moment, and it's just rage bait. That's what it is. And I don't know if that thing today was true. I don't know if somebody can find it. If you can, please send it on to me, but because I'd like to see it. But to me, it seemed like it was rage bait, and it was just too obvious. And when I went to look for it, I couldn't find it. So, in the absence of evidence, I have to say that was completely fabricated. As I say, if somebody can share the article with me, the article from the Argentinian newspaper, that is, it's an Argentinian newspaper It's not like it's an Argentinian podcast or something like that where people had to go on and listen to it in Spanish. It was from a newspaper. It does not seem to exist. And if it does, please show it to me. I'm very happy to be wrong and read through it. So just bear all that in mind, guys. Because paper never refused ink. And shit, like when shit sticks to a wall, it stays stuck. Like, so that's where we are with the Emi Martinez transfer at the moment. There's been a lot going around. Ben Jacobs is a good journalist. He's been fed information. I don't know where his information is coming from. I would wager it's coming from Manchester United. It is a bit unsettling to read it. I still have good time for Ben Jacobs, but when somebody of note comes up with stuff and then it gets out, all these little other tentacles start to come from it, and then everybody wants their cut off the engagement because that's all they're doing. They're seeing the engagement people are getting from typing about X player, and then they start typing about them. They get the same engagement, they get the same bite off it, and then they get a bigger check from Elon at the end of the month. That's where I didn't
even know who made the comment. What news channel is he from?
Who?
Ben Jacobs?
Sorry, no. Ben Jacobs has been talking about it since he was one of the people who started. I think he's with the Times or the Telegraph. The Times. I can't remember. But he's been talking about it since like before the season ended. He didn't make this 21.5.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it was just some randomer to put the 21. I honestly, I looked at it, I laughed, and the person that sent it to me, I said, "Stop sending me this fucking shit." That was my response. Because if you didn't look at the second part of that conversation and laugh, you don't understand football. And I don't give a shit what anyone says to me. There's nobody that pays more than £1 over a release clause. It's as simple as that. So anyway, we'll move on for that one and call bullshit, I think.
I'd love to know if there is a release clause. I would love to know if Forest gets some traction on their Morgan Gibbs-White thing, because this is just played out in the media. And if it is coming from Emi Martinez's side, which we can't rule out, I'm a bit more skeptical that it is, but we can't rule out that it isn't. If it is coming from the Manchester United side, should I say, solely and wholly to unsettle the player, like that Morgan Gibbs-White thing, Paddy, is like he's got a release clause apparently. Forest are blocking the transfer under the old tapping up laws. The thing we were done for by when David O'Leary wanted to sign James Beattie for $6 million. But Forest seem to be holding Spurs to task on that one. It'd be interesting to see, because if that's a groundbreaker, if that happens, then it's fair game for other clubs. But anyway, that's not Aston Villa related. I think it's just interesting, I suppose, if teams go to and start having conversations in January with your players and you don't give the authority to do that. You know,
I can assure you, a player the caliber of Emi Martinez has a release clause. I can assure you that his agent has told anybody that's interested in him what that release clause is, and that's just how football works. We never actually went back. I have all those questions and answers done from my meeting with that Premier League football agent.
Oh yes, yes. Jeez, that was a while ago now.
Yeah, it was last January, believe it or not.
Yeah.
Anyway, that was one we were supposed to do for the off season that we never got around to because I've been humpy ever since the end of May.
You've been busy too as well. You've been busy as well. Anything else, Paddy, that we've missed over the last few days? I'm trying to think. What do you make of Manchester? Actually, I'm going to talk about. Go for it.
I said there's a number of outgoings, so obviously a lot of young lads left. Tommy O'Reilly, Sil Sprinkles, and a couple more. And Louis Barry looks like he's on his way to Sheffield United, just waiting on that to be sorted. Yeah, that's going to be a mixed one for me with Thomas Bramwell being a Sheffield United fan. Anyway.
Does anybody want to see
now and the end of my life?
Yeah.
What?
Does anybody want to see the weirdest interview a player will have ever had when they've joined a club? Go watch Sil Sprinkle's interview with Exeter when his welcome interview with Exeter. They got two lads who do a podcast in. I don't know. These guys might be a lot more famous in the UK. They interviewed them. And it's fucking weird. It's a weird interview. Like Sprinkles is fine. The lads are like, they're just watch it. What I would say is go and watch it because it's a bit odd. But I wish him all the best because he was out the door at Villa until he got an ACL injury. And the effort he made to come back from that actually made the club kind of turn around and go, actually, do you know what? We're going to hold on to this guy. He's very diligent. And then he ended up getting some preseason games for us last year. So well done to that man. And he's going to have a good stint now at Exeter, hopefully, and injury free. The other thing I wanted to talk about, Paddy, is, and this will kind of tell you, look, I suppose the feeling about things around Aston Villa at the moment is, Monchi has dug into his own pockets and has saved his local club, his local football club at home, a professional football club. He saved them from going out of business. And, you know, it was our friends in the Secunda pod that actually tagged me in it and were chatting to me. They go, oh, look at this. This is actually really chivalrous from Monchi. And the reaction to it was, well, he should get his fucking head out of his own local team and start signing players for Aston Villa. But, you know, I obviously don't share that, because a lot of this is just who's going to put up the money. Monchi is, and the lawyers do all the work in instances like this. And it's like saying that I can't have a podcast and work at the same time because I'm not devoted to my work. But you know, I think that's pretty chivalrous. I think he's obviously a man who knows football. He's obviously a man who lives and breathes football. And to save his team like that, kind of like Unai Emery did, or the Emery family did with Real Union as well, is I don't know. I think that's pretty chivalrous of him, and hopefully it works out for him. Because no one likes to see clubs go to the wall. You see Morecambe at the moment being absolutely ragdolled by their owner, who just seems like a loose cannon altogether. You know, you want good people in football, regardless of the level of football that's been played at.
Exactly. I had a bit of a wake-up call this week, given the fact that the Hull City owner owned my football club in Ireland, Shelbourne, less than a year ago, I think. Sold it back, or gave it back to the previous ownership. And look what happened there. Hull City not paying their players or their staff recently. So we're all only one bad decision away from being put in that decision. We were in that boat before our owners came in. So I just wanted to add to the fact that people are saying, as you said, why is Monchi not doing his day job? He's doing his day job. Don't you worry about 100%. That.
Yeah.
All he needs to be is a figurehead and put the money in and save his local club. And I actually respect him more for doing it. It shows that he gets football, like what you said about Unai and Real Union. They get football. Brilliant people, football people, proper football people. Not enough of them in the game at the moment. And it warms my heart to see that somebody cares that much to go and lend a hand. And look, maybe we can send a few young lads there and let them flourish in that. It's probably too far down the chain, but more power to them. And yeah, if I had a wealth, I would get involved in my local club and put the money in and help them do whatever they got to do. And that's just part of life, and that's just part of being a football fan. But good luck to him.
You heard it here, Treaty United. Paddy wants to be in the next Pat O'Sullivan. Oh, actually, sorry, I shouldn't have mentioned that name with regards to Treaty United. But Paddy is going to be the next wealthy benefactor for Treaty United if he ever wins the Euro Millions.
Maybe not Treaty United, maybe the club that I actually support. But anyway.
Okay, right. Okay, there we go. Shelbourne it is. So, look, on that positive note, I think we're going to end it in this tonight. Look, this is something we're going to do. I know we've had Paddy's points and stuff like that previously, but there's going to be times where myself and Paddy won't be able to do podcast this year together, and there might be more solo ventures. And we've got Jay White as well, who jumped on last year as well, is going to be jumping in too. I think these debrief podcasts might become more relevant and more frequent throughout. And obviously, I haven't given up. I haven't forgotten on our live phone in stuff as well. Just really need to make sure all the gremlins are gone, because they are great crack, those live phone in ones. I actually come away smiling from those ones. So we'll try and get maybe one of those done next week and get your guys' thoughts on stuff as that happens. And hopefully we'll have some signings. If we have a signing next week, you can be damn sure, if it's an outfield player, you can be damn sure we will have a phone in so that you guys can have your say in it.
Yeah.
Excellent stuff.
Before you go, Neil, it's perfectly normal to be wearing shorts at whatever age you are. It's all part of us not growing old. If you want to wear a short, wear a short. And fair play to John Steele. Did a gig on Sunday wearing his Villa shirt. Villa shirt, something Villa is usually part of my daily attire, so I make no apologies for it. Also, to the 500 people who are in there and chatting, who sat through my downer at the start, or maybe downer throughout, whatever it is. Guys like Chris there, up the Limerick line. Sorry I'm late, lads. Great to see you in there, Chris. Guys like that make us come back for more. Good people, real people, great fans, no dickheads, just the people that matter. And that's why we're back around for Series 6 of the For Love of Paul McGrath season.
Series 6, Series 6, it's 2019. Yeah, time flies when you're having fun. And as I say, it's
and even when you're not having fun.
Well, it's 100% because of this podcast that we had an upturn in fortunes and got to the Champions League. Like it's the correlation and causation is 100%. It is a time when correlation is causation, so we know that. Do you know what, Paddy? Somebody messaged me during the week and goes, "Will you ever do stuff on TikTok Live?" And I went, "Oh Jesus, I don't know. Having so many things going." But if anybody can figure out how to, I know how to do it. But
the amount of people that message me on the likes of Instagram, they go, "I messaged Neil 6 months ago and he never got back to me," and I go,
"Yeah, I'm useless. I am useless. Yeah, I am useless to get back to people in a timely manner. I will because I don't check DMs on Facebook or Instagram. You'll get me probably on Twitter if you DM me, but and the best place is usually email for lovemcgrathpod@gmail.com.
Just as long as everyone knows that you prefer to live in the cesspit and I prefer to live in the fluffy stuff.
Yeah.
So
imagine if you lived in the cesspit. Yeah, well, it's better you don't live in the cesspit because you know the way that you are at the moment, you might pack it all in all together because living on Twitter. So, but yeah. Anyway, right. We're going to leave it at that, guys. You'll probably see some stuff from us. We'll probably be bollocks and drunk tomorrow night. Do something stupid on Twitter or something like that and go live at Neck Pierce. But we will chat to you afterwards. I'll probably come on. Well, I will come on to do a bit around Hansa Rostock, probably a pre-match stuff on Hansa Rostock. I won't do a post-match one because I will be going to another gig on Saturday night, but we'll do something in and around that, and then regular broadcasting then after that from here on out, guys. So thanks so much, everybody, for your time. Really appreciate it. Season started yesterday, and we're here for it because we love Aston Villa. So thanks very much. Stay safe, stay healthy. And all that's left to say is up the Villa.
Up the Villa.